Hey Nina, I'm looking for a car. I have a Hyundai Santa Fe with a dead engine. I still have a car note. I want to trade it in. I know I will get negative equity. What should I do in such situation? Thank you. Love your content. Welcome back to my channel. I'm starting a new series called Ask Nina. I've got some pretty good hindsight based on the experiences that I've had in my life. I mean, with cars alone, I have hindsight. So today we have this message from 88 Clown. But before we get into what I would do, and I'm also going to compare what I would do with what Chat GPT would do, please go ahead and give my page a thumbs up. It helps me reach more people and motivates me to make more videos. It's down here somewhere. Did you do it? Okay, let's go. Before we begin, this video has been sponsored by my Amazon affiliate store. Now, if you like the sound quality, because some of you guys have said in the past, oh, you need a microphone. I had a microphone, but I'm finally using it, okay? I bought the weird, cheap TikTok microphones that plug right into your phone. The sound be way too hot. The sound like, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like I'm screaming into somebody's ear. So this is a really good one by Comica. They're not sponsoring me, but this is in my Amazon storefront under electronics, I want to say. I love that this comes with two microphones and it also comes with the little puffer balls. So this is the original microphone. The receiver is hooked up to the phone right now. There's a bunch of different adapters so you can adapt if you need, to connect it to a camera or to a phone. This is the charger. But check this out. It also comes with these microphones. So you can just plug it into the receiver and clip it onto the back of your pants and pretend that you're Khloe Kardashian from Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So I got everything you need to succeed. All the people coming from TikTok trying to figure out how to do long form content, this is for you. Do it with my Amazon affiliates, Creator Essentials. Now let's move on. I'm having a really bad eczema breakout, so my hands are very stiff. They are peeling and flaking and scaling so bad. I have tried everything. My cousins are doctors. They told me I would need a steroid, which I don't mind getting a steroid, but by the time I get the steroid, go through the American Health Insurance program system, this gonna already be gone away. It's gonna be, because I go through this every winter time. It lasts about 3 weeks to a month. We already 2 weeks deep by the time I get the appointment, because I got HMO. So, well, I don't think I have health insurance anymore. I haven't been paying, but before I had HMO for $420, you had to go see a primary care physician before they could recommend you to somebody else, like a dermatologist, like a specialist. So I'm not doing all that. So today we popping into what do you do when you still owe money on a car that you cannot drive and you need a new car? There's a bunch of things you could do. Let's start off with, what do we do with the old car? One, we could sell it for parts. We could auction it. We could also see how much it would cost to get a new engine. So I noticed that she says I have a Hyundai Santa Fe with a dead engine. I also had a Hyundai Tucson with a dead engine. I chose not to replace it because the engine was turbo. And they said a turbo engine was going to cost me about $6,000, which was the total value of the car. Matter of fact, that wouldn't have been the worst idea, because now my car note is, I bought a whole new $40,000 car. So $6,000 or $40,000, which is why I have great hindsight. If you can buy a new engine and drop that thing in the car, then do that. I bet you didn't know you could buy used engines as well. So that would be my very first step if I owed money on the car, is how much would it cost to just drop an engine in there and keep that thing pushing? Investigate that with a mechanic. Then if you absolutely cannot drop that engine in there, let's say it's just too expensive or it's more than the value of the car, then we just need to go ahead and sell the car for parts, or sell it to somebody that can do something with it. A mechanic, an auction place. These are all good options to sell your vehicle. I'm sure that in a rare scenario, a dealership would buy it from you, but they can't they can't just resell it so quickly. So most of the time, if they can't resell it quickly, they're not gonna take it off your hands. They don't want that thing, that piece of junk sitting on their lot. See how I just keep pointing at stuff? It's because I can't close my finger because it's so dry. I want to call my dad to see what he would do, because personally, that's what I would do if I was in your predicament. Under no circumstance should you bring negative equity, roll it over from your last car to a new car. I have to say that because I did that 3 times. I did it 3 times being young. Nothing was wrong with the vehicles before. I just wanted a new car because I'm like, it doesn't fit me anymore. Just like I wanted a new place to live. Oh, it doesn't fit me anymore. Maybe one day I'll grow out of being nomadic, but I certainly have grown out of switching out of cars once I realized, oh my God, girl, you keep rolling negative equity into a new purchase. Don't do that. Pay it down or pay it off. Now let's call my dad.
Hello?
Hello, Father. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Why do you sound asleep?
I was.
Really? It's a work day.
No. I'm getting up. I have PT in the morning in about an hour.
So, okay, well, I don't want to bother you too much. I wanted to do 2 things. I wanted to set up dinner, and I also wanted your advice for a YouTube video.
Okay.
Just let me know
No.
where. Okay, so now I have my advice I want to ask you. Okay, this is just because I think you have pretty decent advice for a lot of other things, but I had a girl hit me up and she said she was looking for a new car, I guess, because she has a car with a dead engine, but she still has a car note. But, she's got some negative equity. So if you had a car you couldn't drive and you had negative equity, still owed money on it, dead engine, what would you do?
I'm taking that to a living law attorney. So basically, there are attorneys out there that will, represent people with that because.
Unfortunately, my microphone died in the middle of the conversation, but my dad was saying that depending on what state you live in, a lemon law attorney may be able to help you get a new vehicle.
That was not what I thought my dad was going to say. I thought he was going to give me the exact same piece of advice that he gave me when my engine had issues, which was to get a new engine. But he said if it's been less than 3 years since you bought your car, you might need to consult a lemon law attorney. So we have a lot of factors at play here. How many years? Where do you live? Where did you buy it? It was new or used when you purchased it. Can we purchase a new engine? That way, and also, is what we owe on the car more or less than the cost of a new engine? If any of these questions can be a remedy, then we don't have to get a new car. But let's say you owe $3,000 on the car and then a new engine is $5,000. There's no point. There's no point in buying a new engine. Just go ahead and pay down like $1,500 of that, and then maybe take $1,500 in negative equity over to the new car dealership, because they can take that and absorb it into the new car. And this is where research comes into play, because now you've got to research what new vehicles have enough markup to absorb my negative equity. If that's what it comes down to, I remember one time there was a guy who came in to the Toyota dealership and he wanted this cosmic black Toyota Camry. He had an exact car with an exact VIN number with exact price, and nobody could argue with him, not even the store managers. They did not want to go back and forth. They were just like, no, give it to him. He's done enough research. He knows his numbers. And ultimately, he wanted this car that was originally like $26,000. He wanted it for like $19,200. And everybody was like, what? But he knew, and so did the management and finance office, that it had that much money in markup. So let's say you got $3,000 in the negative equity and you do what he did, except instead of asking for $6,000 off, maybe you only ask for like $3,000 off, and then you can roll the other $3,000 into absorbing. You get what I'm saying? So there's like math and science involved in this. You guys let me know down in the comments. Would you take any of these pieces of advice if you had a dead engine, negative equity, and a car that you were still making payments on? Okay, so I have a situation and I just want to know your advice. A friend of mine has a car with a dead engine. To be clear, it's a Hyundai Santa Fe, and she has negative equity in the car and is still making payments, but it's unable to drive it. She needs a car that she can drive. In this situation, what would you do?
That sounds tough. One option could be to look into trading in the car, even with the negative equity, for something more affordable. Another option might be to sell it and see if she can get a personal loan to cover the difference. Has she spoken to her lender about her situation?
I'm not sure, but I like this protocol. She does need to talk to her lender and let them know what's going on. So, what should she do after that?
After speaking with her lender, she could explore options like refinancing the loan or negotiating a lower payoff amount. If the lender agrees, she might be able to roll the negative equity into a new car loan. Alternatively, selling the car and covering the difference with a personal loan or savings might help.
There you go. So I think all three of us are kind of saying the same thing in a different language, which is we need to try to salvage the situation as much as possible so that you don't put yourself in more financial debt or hardship. So one, figure out how much the car is worth. And then two, now that we need a new car, buy a new car, but figure out which vehicles have enough markup in them to help alleviate the financial burden of paying off the previous car. Oh my goodness, this was so much fun. I love doing Ask Nina. Please, if you have any questions, comments, or advice of your own, because listen, I don't know all the answers, but I do know a lot of stuff. Please help 88 Clown out in the comments. And if you have any questions for me, you never know. I could do another episode of Ask Nina and you will be featured. So put those below as well, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.